Well, everybody, we're certainly closer to the end than we are to the beginning when it comes to this little trip down memory lane with NHL Legacy Edition. Not only because NHL 26 is very much on the horizon, but because I'm kind of out of ideas, man. Like, I don't know what it's going to take for us to get lucky enough to win. Now, the last time we were here, we were at the start of free agency, went through, set up the team, made some changes, which you probably won't be surprised, right? Like certain trades, of course, we kind of talked about needed to happen. So we'll go over those now. But we traded Elias Lindholm and some other pieces, mainly Dmitry Kulikov, to get rid of that contract. Got a first-round pick back in return. Jake Bean is finally gone in a deal involving a first-round pick. I mean, he was making like $6+ million. He certainly wasn't going to be worth that. And then we just had a lot of empty spots on the roster. And of course, we tried in the past like a more skilled approach. We tried a physical approach. I've doubled down on the physicality within the bottom six, especially on the wings. Like Beaton and Lodge are both two-ways who are very fast and very good at face-offs, at least for who was out there in free agency. And the top six, I mean, we'll see. Obviously, it feels like we're going to need more punching power than Hunter Shinkaruk, but maybe we won't. And hey, that literal punching power is there in the bottom six. Defensively, we are going to try something different here, though. Shea Theodore is going to be with Prohorkin on the top pair. Normally, I like to have a DFD with an OFD, like we have with Van de Sample and Mayfield, who are going to be our third pair to start the year. But we'll try something different. And then Emery, hopefully, will get a bit of a step up in development, playing alongside Madison Bowie. So we're at least trying something different there. And then, of course, goaltending-wise, Pickard and Leonard. But, I mean, our main issue is the fact that, you know, we're kind of sticking with guys like Sherbak. Like, the smarter thing, you could argue, would be to cash out, I guess, is a good way to phrase it, and bring in some younger guys who are still developing and on cheaper contracts to just try to set us up to be like, all right, cool, let's just have the highest rated team that we possibly can, right? And I feel like we've done that too, right? Like, unless I'm mistaken, I feel like we tried that in terms of like, hey, let's just have a super good team, and that didn't work. I feel like we've tried so many different combinations with this team that for the most part, it's just going to come down to whether or not we can get lucky enough and kind of have RN Jesus shine his light upon us and have us actually win something. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if it can happen. I don't think it will happen, is my honest take at this stage. But we will see what happens this season. We'll take it from there. I would like to think we're going to be back in the playoffs again. Like, I can't imagine this team wouldn't be back in the playoffs. But we're going to see how this goes. If I make any changes with the roster, I will let you know. Otherwise, I will hopefully see you guys in the postseason, where maybe we might just win something. All right, our regular season has come to a close. I elected not to make any moves at the deadline, which might prove to be a mistake because we only won 43 games. We started off red hot this season, and then we just fell apart down the stretch, especially. Yeah, I mean, you could see like the October results, really, really good. Of course, I wish I could see just kind of like our outright listed stats per month, but it is what it is. But even through December, still pretty good. January, I mean, you know, a couple losses here and there. And then, yeah, you start seeing a lot more L's pop up, especially in March. Holy hell, we were terrible. So in terms of the standings, I don't even know if we've made the playoffs yet. We have. Okay. 93 points. I wasn't even sure if we had made it, but we have. That's good. And actually, before we look at our stats on the season, we're up to a 74 GM rep. I wanted to up assistant coach. Provides good information on in-game injuries. I mean, these two are pretty much irrelevant to us, right now. We're just upgrading him for the sake of upgrading him, so let's just do that. In terms of how the boys performed this season, now obviously not every team might be done with their games, but that's okay. Let's take a look at how we did and see if we might want to try to change anything. I don't know. We'll see. We got options, I think. Maybe. We better have options because otherwise we're in trouble. So in terms of the forwards, 80 points for Sherbak, 28 goals. Barkov and Sprong, both at least 70 points, 36 goals for Sprong. Blake Clark with 62, 50 points, 24 goals for Shinkarik. And then Jan Suchi at 49 points. It's not too bad. Obviously, the depth scoring isn't a big feature of this team. Penalty minutes sure are. Holy God. Even Barkov at 72. I mean, Mitch Moroz and Justin Doucette, living up to the physicality, that's for sure. And then defensively, Madison Bowie still takes so many pims. Prohorkin stepped up. He is a true number one defenseman. I think that worked out for us. Oh, my God. Even Scotty Mayfield, terrible in terms of pims. Clearly that's our big issue. If we're going to have one big penalty taker on the team, maybe two, it's Barkov and Bowie. That's all we can afford to have. So someone like Mayfield, Moroz, and Doucette might need to take a seat. Even with the physicality they provide, it's just too much of a detriment. A 9-1-1 for Riley Pickard this year. We'll see if that's good enough for him to win yet another award. League-wide, when it comes to forwards, Jonathan Drouin and Steven Stamkos continue to just be absolutely insane. Anything close to a point per game was actually really, really good. Sagan leads in goals again. No real surprise there. He's a monster in this game. And then defensively, 89 points for Erik Karlsson. Damn. Tony D was up there. Ekman Larsson. Prohorkin, top 4 in terms of points. Not bad at all. Not bad, not bad. And then goalie-wise, the winningest was Pickard, Brent Parker, Timo Kemppainen. Definitely a lot of generated goalies at this point. A ton. And for the rookies, James Rodney, apparently, is the front runner for the Rangers over an OFD on Nashville. Yeah, a lot of generated dudes at this point. So if we were to make any changes with the lineup, we know it would be certain dudes that we just take out because we can't rely on them to not take a bajillion penalties. Defensively, I don't know. Do we put Tyson Malone in there? Maybe we do leave Scott Mayfield. I don't really have another good alternative to not having Scott Mayfield in the lineup, really. Right wing side. We did claim this guy, Jonas Vetterl, on waivers. Has a hell of a shot. Offensive awareness isn't too good, but when they sent him down, he had 40 points. So in terms of that insurance, he could be the guy. Moroz and Doucette are going to have to go. Good thing is that guy was a lefty as well. And then Lodge and Beaton are fine. Maurice Brodeur, right-handed playmaker. He could... I think that could work. So if we swap Doucette for Brodeur, and we take out Mitch Moroz for Vetterl, I think we're probably okay. We could probably leave Beaton and Lodge. Lodge was the better of the two. If we were to take out Beaton, I think we're okay with what I have in mind. So if we go best lines, Sherbak goes there, that goes there. Vetterl over here, Brodeur here, Jimmy Lodge here, and then technically if it's a fourth line of just beating people up, that works. It gives us, in theory, a little bit more offensive push and gets some of the problematic guys in terms of penalties out of the lineup. Oh, I would still like to have Scott Mayfield, but the penalties are just too damn much. He brings that physicality, but if he can't stay out of the box, it's going to kill us. So, let's just go with Tyson Malone. We'll give him a chance. Why not, right? Let's give that man a chance. And swap in player. There we go. So, we'll get Van de Samp on the other side for one-timer purposes. And we'll set it up like that. I mean, again, like, this team is definitely good enough to win the cup. It's just, will they? That is the question you have to ask every year. Can't say it's unrealistic. A lot of teams ask that, and they find out for sure one way or another. But let's see what we can do. And hopefully this team can make it. I can't say I'm going to get overly invested in this version of the team until they at least make the conference finals, if they do. And if we fall short, maybe there's one more season. Apparently we hit legendary GM status in 4 years. So that's cool. But one of 43 wins, we got 45, and we play the Coyotes in the first round. And they actually have home ice advantage, right? Okay, stop the sim, please. Thank you. They have home ice advantage, even though we won one more game than they did. The overtime losses helped them quite a bit. Just want to double check the GM tracker. Up to 77 reputation. I can't believe it. And we did get a lot of points as well. So we'll just keep trying to max that out. So the Coyotes of 2025. 2025. That's not a real year. Come on. 2025? Ugh. The Arizona Coyotes, Tobias Reeder, a dude named Reynolds, and I imagine Seth Griffith, Brendan Perlini, Nick Merkley, Pontus Aberg, Gabriel Paquin-Boudreau, Dylan Strome, and Henrik Samuelsson, Richard Panik, Laurent Dauphin, and Jens Locke. It's good. It's good. It's good. Defensively, OEL with Connor Murphy, Brandon Gormley, Dylan Coughlin, and a dude named Claremont. I think it might be Brett Claremont, maybe? And then someone named Dudera, who I think is real. Goalies could be the big equalizer. 279 overalls. Again, like, they have good depth. We have the best player of the series in Nikita Sherbak. I'd like to think we can win this, and you know what? We're going to menu sim it to prove that point. Please. Like I said, I don't want to get overly invested in this team, game by game, in the Super Sim, until we know we can even trust this team and that they're worthy of that trust. A 3-1 loss in Game 1, not what I had in mind. Game number 2, a 4-1 loss. Okay, we can't score. We cannot score. And 2-1 loss. Jeez, 3 straight games with only a goal, even though we called up some offensive reinforcements. Primarily, it's because of the loading time. But, man, this might have to be it for this team. Like, I get, like, fourth line, whatever, it's physical. Third line's not amazing. But, again, this guy had almost 20 goals when they sent him down. I guess this is why they sent him down. No points in 3 games and a -1. But I just think in general, like, Sherbak, Barkov, Sprong, Clark as the primary core of the team, it's just not working. I think we'd have to do a big rebuild on the fly, and I don't know if we have time for it. Pickard just hasn't been that good. Let's put Leonard in. Might as well. I mean, we got to reverse sweep them just to have a chance. But, yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I think we backed the wrong core of talent. Not that we necessarily had better options. Like, I don't know if there's anyone I really regret getting rid of. We at least avoid the sweep, which is nice. But, yeah, some of these key players that were supposed to help push us over the top hasn't happened. We get gentlemen swept by the Coyotes in the first round. 5 games. We will go through this offseason. We will double check to see if there's anything else. Can we do something at the draft? Is there anything that we can do to stop this team from falling short and kind of rebuilding on the fly? And if not, well, then we failed the Vancouver Canucks over the past decade. Although, in fairness, it's been relatively similar to the actual experience that Canucks fans have had for the most part. So we can't even say that it's overly unrealistic. It just kind of is what it is. It is the Vancouver Canucks experience. At least the Utica Comets are going far into the playoffs, but yeah, beyond that, not good. Not good, not good, not good, not good. So, I hate to say I let you down, Vancouver, but we might have let you down. Scouting wise, we were looking at like WHL forwards. Like it does, yeah, let's just scout these guys out more. Like it does look like a good draft class. It's the only thing that might really be able to save us. But even if it was like, all right, cool, let's trade Barkov to try to get the first overall pick and trade someone else to try to get the second and anything like that. Do we have enough time? And I don't know if we do. That is the negative aspect. As the Stanley Cup and Calder Cup both going to be awarded, we'll see if we at least have a Calder Cup champion. We will see. Again, the loading times are also a big part of the problem as to why we haven't been able to make more progress. It takes a long time just to simulate a season in this game. Bakersfield ends up winning the Calder Cup. The Lightning win the Stanley Cup. Damn. Okay. Well, we will see what happens from here, won't we? We'll see. There might not be much to happen. But let's at least get a look at the awards. All that fun stuff. We already know who Bakersfield beat in the final. It's fine. Stanley Cup goes to Tampa for the second time in 3 seasons. They also won the President's Trophy, which I don't think I've looked at in the past couple of years. But let's be honest, it's kind of worthwhile. Or worthless, I should say. It's not really worthwhile. LA Kings won the West, but lost in the Cup final. Jonathan Drouin wins another Art Ross Award. He also wins the Hart this year. Norris Trophy to Erik Karlsson. Tyson Barrie the year before. Happy retirement to him. Jonathan Drouin, Lady Byng. Calder to Brent Parker. Isn't he I don't remember if he was a goalie or not. I think he was. Conn Smythe to Jonathan Drouin. Vesna to Timo Kemppanen. So Pickard loses out for the first time in a while. Selke to John Tavares. Apparently it's a John exclusive award. Ted Lindsay to Jonathan Drouin. Rocket Richard to Tyler Seguin. Bakersfield wins the Calder Cup. Goaltender with the lowest GAA was Nico Viksten and Yanni Ordio. And then we got the extra awards that just kind of generated. Miguel Sullivan was the MVP of the playoffs. Carter Hart, still top goaltender. Best defenseman, Jack Sagan. Top rookie, Edgar Stepan. He was also the top goal scorer. Evgeny Malkin, league MVP, who also led in points. Right. So is there a way? I don't really think there is. Like, unless we draft somebody just generational. And I don't even know what this game would define as a generational pick anymore. Man, this might be it. This might be. We got 2 defensemen, 2 right wings, and a goalie on our list of top 5 picks with the most accurate information. So we'll see what we can do here. But it's like, do we trade Barkov? Who else do we get rid of? Bobrovsky, Holtby, Ramo, Hutchinson, Markstrom, Jack Campbell are gone. For the centers, bunch of big names. Holy games played. Stamkos is gone too. So the Tampa dominance might finally be over. A lot of guys with at least 1,000 games played. Right wing side, again, a bunch. Gustav Nyquist finishes with 999 career games. Mike Babcock must have been back in Detroit. Left wing side, Lucic, Pacioretty, Spalling. Fair enough. And on defense, a lot of big names again. Subban, Shattenkirk, Kulikov. Turns out I didn't even have to trade. I could have just let his... He would have had 1 year left on his deal. Could have just kept him. Had him retire. Fair enough. Trade block again. We're not going to worry about it, but we are going to go to the draft. We do have a bunch of phones. We have the 7th and the 14th pick. And we are looking at the New York Rangers. Actually, I'm going to write some of this down so I can remember because I'm old. The New York Rangers, the Philadelphia Flyers, the New Jersey Devils, Montreal, and Nashville. The Schville, as it's known. And if you don't call it the Schville when you live in Tennessee, you're doing yourselves a disservice. Well, the trades have happened yet. 2, 3, 4 phones. It's beautiful. Never thought we'd have so many. So the New York Rangers, do they want to trade that top pick? Yes, they do. And Sherbak still has full value. Of course, Moroza we took recently. Bowie is a frickin' 60-point defenseman, man. I can't get rid of a 60-point defenseman even if he takes penalties, right? But in the playoffs, at least this year, he sucked. Years before, he was better. Is Madison Bowie the problem? I don't know. Is Daniel Sprong the problem? 30-goal scorer. Playoff-wise, didn't do much this year. In the past, though, he's typically been okay. I don't feel like he's the problem. Horkin's definitely not the problem. Sasha Barkov. Regular season, not the problem. Playoff-wise, not the problem. Damn. Clark? Blake Clark. 60, 70-point guy. Hasn't done much in the playoffs so far, but he is still young. And then there's Nikita Sherbak at 10.6 mil. Definitely not a problem in the regular season. Not really a problem in the playoffs either. Man. We do got guys like Peluso and Bartley who are close. Shea Theodore's deal is up. God, Prohorkin's deal is up too. Jesus. Emery, Suchi, Kozanov, Malone. I don't know if we really have the value. I mean, again, like pick number 7. I guess we technically have the value to trade up. But in terms of like trading one of these big names, like I don't see the reason to do so. Like getting rid of Malone makes sense. Hunter Shinkarik, like his deal's up, judging by the low value. He's still a 50-point guy. He's still a 50-point guy. It's tough to blame him. Hilbert, you're just not looking that good, are you? We use you two in the 7th overall pick. I guess we got to add 2 people that I don't even know if we're going to be able to pull off this trade, honestly. I felt like we'd be more secure in moving on from certain people, but now I'm not really seeing it. We just might have to hope we get lucky. And yeah, the deal with Malone's expiring. Damn. Let's just keep the 7th pick. We'll see. Cassian, Levesque, Peverly, Brophy, Marquardt, and Rabbit. None of these guys were, except for Peverly. Peverly was the only guy that was on the list. But there still should be some good players left, including Severson, who wasn't on the list, but our scouts have identified as being really freaking good. Federal, Menino, Taylor is a 4-star. Apparently 4.5 green for Luke Lowe. Bobby Watkins also there. So the guys that the game warned me about, or told me about, was Cassian in goal. Couple of, at least one 4-star, another potential 4-star. Where the hell was Cassian already taken? In fairness, I might have missed him when the list came by. Yeah, so I think he was gone too, actually. What was he, like first? He was first overall. Well, we weren't taking a goalie first overall anyway. So defensively, Beckett and Torres. There's Beckett, 4-star green. Torres, 3rd to 4th round. And then right wing side, Logan Haynes, who is showing up to be really freaking good. And apparently, there's someone who our scouts might think could be an outright 5-star, which is nuts. I mean, there is a lot of talent, apparently, in this draft. If we can hit a home run, we might still have a chance here. We might. It might be worth one more season. So, based off projections, it would make sense for Haynes and Boschman to be our 2 picks here, just to make sure that we get them. Like we could easily take Watkins, Patolny, Severson, but we want to go with the guys at the top here. This guy especially, but then Haynes is, guaranteed. So let's go for Vincent Boschman, and we'll hope our scouts are right. And the pick after that, we will go after Logan Haynes, because I don't know what we have for second-round picks. And the answer is we didn't have one, so smart choice. John Carlson's on his way to Winnipeg. And I don't think we're going to do anything else trading-wise. I mean, granted, second round could be worth trading up into. We also don't have any third-round picks. Jesus, okay. Well, I highly doubt anybody... We don't even have a 4th-round pick. So, yeah, there was no trading up. I guess we did go all in, didn't we? In a lot of ways. That freaking year before especially. We do have a 5th-round pick. So, yeah, it really was a smart move. I mean, granted, we could have tried to trade up, but is there anybody left who our scouts think might be decent? There's no goalies left. Pasi Kuka, Tony Bjugstad, Mikael Johansson. When in doubt, go for the Finn. 6th round, let's see who's there. So we need one of these top 2 guys that we took to be just outstanding. Please. We need something to work with here. Let's go for the Swede after that. Finns before Swedes, of course. And 7th round. Just kidding, by the way. I love my Swedes, too. Tony Bjugstad. Let's go for him. It really comes down to those top 2 and if our scouts were right. And that's the thing. They can be wrong. Even if it's like, no, they're going to be good. Trust. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. So goalies. We got to sign Pickard. Leonard's deal's up too. Defensively, Prohorkin's an RFA. Theodore's deal is up. And a Sample Malone. Right wing side. Haynes. Didn't it say exact? And it's still 4.5 red. He is a 78 at 20. So he's still good. But goddamn, even exact? Doesn't mean gold? You're kidding me. Mikael Johansson's only a 3-star. Of course, he was a later pick. And then the other guy was a center, right? There's Moroza from last year. What do we have here? Peluso, Hodges. Boschman, also 4.5 red. There might be another season of an attempt. There might not be. I don't know what to promise at this point. Because, again, we're running really low on time. And this team is so frustrating. They're one of the most frustrating teams I've ever used. And if that ends up being my last analysis of them, it's very fitting.